For years and years, the internet's been at absolute war over this one simple question. Who can beat Goku? Well, today we're gonna answer that, or should I say you're going to answer that. A few days back, I proposed the following scenario to my Discord members. If you had 1 year of prep time, what's your plan to defeat Goku? And today we're gonna see who survives and who doesn't. Okay, so the first plan of action I'm seeing here is to eat him. The cannibal route is definitely an interesting one to say the least, and the fact that there's no context behind this plan kinda scares me. I don't know what you're capable of, but you're probably not gonna make it doing this. Next up, we have a guy that wants to scatter bananas around the world. First of all, that's gotta be racist. Secondly, there's already bananas around the world. I don't know what you're accomplishing here besides racism. I actually do wonder though, if he actually seeks out all the bananas you scatter across the world, how long would that take? Next plan up is to buy anti-Goku spray and off him with that. I mean, if anti-Goku spray exists, I mean, you win, but I don't know where you acquire such a substance. Probably out of Shenron's power if you use the Dragon Balls, but maybe you can throw a virus in there or something. I don't know. Acquiring billions of needles is the next strat here, which sounds smart on the surface. Goku's terrified of needles, at least in the filler. But answer me this: where are you gonna get them? And if you can figure that out, how do you afford them? Acquiring a billion anything is gonna cost you millions at bare minimum. The economy's screwing you before Goku does. Here's another needle-related plan, and this time it's a suit made of needles. Not nearly as expensive as a billion, but I'm actually confused how you would make this and move around in it. Anyways, he probably just shoots you with the ki blast and you're cooked. We're on to the next one. The next plan here makes me very upset for the severe lack of creativity. Make the animation studio bankrupt so they don't have any money to animate Goku. First of all, that's the biggest cop-out answer of all time. And since you want to get smart, I'm gonna get smart myself. What's your plan here? What's your economic strategy to put one of the biggest animation studios bankrupt in 1 year? Yeah, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run every single day. This plan is the Saitama training regimen. Now, I feel like I've been a little harsh so far. Maybe I'm being a little overly realistic. So let's assume this makes you as strong as Saitama. You still lose. First of all, you would have to convince me that Saitama can beat Goku in a fight. Whole different debate for a whole nother day. And secondly, you are not Saitama. You can have all of his strength, speed, and power, but he's still plenty talented himself. He can literally copy moves by just looking at him once. Can you do that? On to the next plan, and honestly, this is the most realistic one so far. Live my last year doing anything knowing darn well that after the year, I'll be gone. Yeah, I applaud you for keeping it a buck, but like you said, you're joining everybody else. This one's a pretty wild plan of action. I don't need prep time because secretly I have the power to make lots of food with magic, so he won't bite me and then he hooks you up with the Saiyan baddie. I have so many questions. I'm gonna assume you have this magical power. Let me not ask too many questions now, but my biggest thing is, what Saiyan baddies is he gonna hook you up with? They're gone. I guess technically he kinda will be hooking you up after sending you to the afterlife to, mingle with all the Saiyan baddies there. Next plan is also food related, and this guy's gonna poison it, and if that doesn't work, he's gonna throw me at him. Honestly, if you can get a hold of his food, this could possibly work. I don't know why you're dragging me into this. You probably just want to take me down with you, but it's a decent plan. We've got another food poisoning plan, but this guy's also gonna take his family hostage and then blow up the earth. Okay, I won't even address the last part of the plan. How are you gonna kidnap his family? Gohan, Goten, even Chi-Chi is folding you. I'm gonna ask you to brace yourself for this next plan. The intellectual stimulation might get a bit overboard. It might get out of control from how intricate and detailed this is. This guy wants to make out with him. I'm gonna act like I never saw that. The next plan is to tell Goku that I am stronger. That's buying you a few seconds max. I don't know if I should be flattered that you guys think I can beat Goku in a fight, or if I should just be upset that you guys are trying to drag me into this too. And why me? Put your grandma or something. Next plan says Gas already beat him, so I'm going for the Dragon Balls. Now, if you copy his plan to a T, I'm sure Goku's not making the same mistake twice, but if you get a little more creative with the wishes, now we're talking. For example, instead of making yourself the strongest, what if you just inverse the concept of strength? The weaker you are, the stronger you are, and the stronger ones become weaker. Now we're cooking with something. Alright, I didn't think writing an essay would make this list, but this guy's gonna write a 1,933 word essay on grass to impress him. You might intellectually overstimulate him or just bore him to death. This might be a win. Alright, we go from making an essay to making a black hole to suck up the universe. You're not gonna win by doing this, but you also might not lose. You're just taking down everybody. Okay, back to writing. You're gonna ask for his name, then write it on the death note. First of all, why are you asking for his name? You have his name. Secondly, he's not a human, so it won't work. Okay, we have another 10 out of 10 realistic plan up next. I'll take the I have no enemies route and hope for the best. Now, I don't know why Goku is after you, but if there's some kind of way you can talk him out of it, this is definitely a route you can take. We're bringing Invincible up to the plate with this next one. Not Invincible himself, but his mom. This guy wants to send Debbie Grayson after him. Now, she does have some experience with aliens, but I'm not really sure what she's gonna do here. It's better than sending the Immortal, at least. All right, this next plan is a little traumatizing. Trigger warning. This guy wants to have the most accurate plastic surgeries and gender-changing surgeries to look like Chi-Chi. I can't imagine how horrific you would look trying to do that. You might actually scare Goku to death. You're gonna look like a Leatherface version of his wife. Either that works against him or he's gonna make him even angrier. Speaking of horrific, this guy wants to no-clip into the backrooms. You're honestly better off fighting Goku. I don't know what kind of existential horror you're gonna find down there. Okay, guys, I like this next plan. Might be the most successful plan of all. He's gonna use chemical warfare. If you come at him with some kind of illness or disease that he can't sense, we don't know how strong his immune system is, but I like the odds of that getting him over these ridiculous plans like throwing me at him. My biggest worry with this one is how fast this illness, disease, chemical thing is gonna kick in. As we saw with the heart virus, it definitely wore him down, but it took some time, so you're gonna need to plan around that. Moving along though, this guy's gonna tell Broly that Goku was saying bad things about him and ask him to train me. Broly himself needs training. I don't think you want to train with him either. And I don't think Broly would even care about name calling unless he's berserking, and in that case, how are you even alive to ask him this? However, you could gaslight Broly in a different way. All you gotta do is tick him off around Goku, and he's probably gonna help you. He's probably gonna try and fight you too, but Goku's first at least. This is like the second or third guy that wants to replace Chi-Chi with this next one. You guys are different. You know how I said brace yourself for the intellectual stimulation earlier? I was kidding on that time, but this one might actually be something to think about. This one wants to call the IRS and CPS on him and then go to sleep. This begs the question, does Goku pay taxes? And if not, what's he doing when the IRS comes knocking on his door? Is he gonna abide by the rules? Is he gonna let them arrest him? And as far as CPS goes, I feel like Chi-Chi would be involved in some kind of way. I'm not sure how effective that would be, but if so, if you can convince her to get on your side, he's in a lot of trouble. Anyways, we get to our final plan here, and it's not even a plan. This guy just said, I only need 5 minutes to stretch. Are you for real? Look, I understand that beating Goku is one of the toughest tasks you could possibly have, especially in 1 year. Most Dragon Ball villains couldn't even do that, but I would feel a little embarrassed if I was you guys. I mean, there's probably like 2 survivors max out of how many I did. Much easier said than done though, but I mean, we had multiple people trying to replace Chi-Chi. Someone wanted to make out with it. Much easier said than done though, so I challenge you, if you're watching this, leave a comment down below. What would your plan to beat Goku in 1 year be? And let me know what you think about these plans. Also, as I said before, all of these answers are from my Discord server, so if you want to be a part of future videos, get alerts and updates from me, or even just join the community, I highly suggest joining. But with all that being said, that about wraps up this
Hey, it's me, Goku!